Yeah, I did a lot of Americans. I had two of them over there for a while. And we have very people, man. 4 guys and 3 bumpers on there. Yeah.
Folks, we're waiting on a couple of people. It'll just be a few minutes. They're down by the tower and they'll be here and we'll get started. Give the mic to Ed and let him say a few words before we get started. Ed Crowder.
Thank you for coming out. It's been a good 15 years. Not a bad day, just a lot of hard work. I enjoyed every minute of it with the help of a lot of good people. My 4 daughters, my son, my late wife. She was the best of all people I've ever met. She was the best wife, cook, mother, and she done it all. I miss her in a big way, but I thank you for coming by. This was my last time of doing this. I resigned. Nothing wrong with Kil-Kare. They're a good group of people. They've been good to me. They just turned to give me the key and say, do anything you want. Well, that was a mistake because I've done a lot of things. And it's been great. I thank each and every one of you that ever walked through these gates or drove through the gates. You're here. That's what we want. I want you to come back next year and the year after that. I'll be here as a spectator. I won't be doing any work. If they get stuck with something, yes, I'll help them and bring some good people. I thank you. God bless. And come back. Thank you.
I'll just tell you a quick story about Ed. He used to tell me he had a hard time sleeping, so he'd go out in his garage 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and he'd go through books, magazines, newspaper articles. So he got the idea to write a book. And you might ask me, is that book here today? Well, yes, it is. You can buy it. He'll sign it for you. But anyway, so being out in his garage, and it was like a museum, he got this idea to write the book. So he wrote a book. He planned his next geezer event. He had about 12 quarts of coffee by 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock at my house, I'm still looking for my socks. So we're gonna get started here. I'm waiting on a couple people, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, Dave Thomas, where you at? Where's he at? Oh, okay. Go ahead, Sam. Hold it up. Here's the Drag Racing Memories book by Ed Crowder, and it's available here today, and he will sign it for you.
Look out, Price is right.
Okay, I'll go ahead and bring somebody up here. I'm going to start out with Doug Kaplinger. Doug's a long-time racer. He's one of the winningest drivers that I've ever seen. I'll give you a small list of his accomplishments. Buckeye Bracket Nationals champion, Summit Labor Day No Box Classic champion, Kil-Kare Labor Day Nationals Bracket Finals, JEGS US Open National Champion. That was the $32,000 race, by the way. I hope I don't embarrass you, Doug, because I know he's not going to tell you. Bottom Bulb Extravaganza, Quaker City, Kil-Kare Door Slammer Nationals, 12 gold cards, and I'd like to bring Doug Kaplinger up here, and his wife Amanda is here, and she's been with him all the time. Doug, where you at?
Where's everyone at? Thank everyone at even my wife, doctor's orders.
appreciate it. Over the years, I've had a lot of fun. He described all the wins, but I'm not the Hall of Famer. My dad's the Hall of Famer. He's always been the Hall of Famer, always will be the Hall of Famer. Gets none of the credit for anything I do, so it's gonna look good on his living room and his living room, so thank you, Dad. I love you.
I tell you, we've got some heavy hitters here today. Some of these numbers that these guys have run up over the years is amazing to me. I'd like to bring up Steve Collier. Steve started racing in 1991, still racing. He was a Rookie of the Year in 1991. Think about this for a minute. 7 class championships in heavy, pro, and sportsman. Bracket finals. This is an astounding number. It'd be 27 times. Team Kil-Kare. 2-time finalists at Indy. 1 semifinalist. 4 team championships with Team Kil-Kare. 2 national dragster Wallies. I'd like to give a shout out to his family. Steve and Shirley Cottle. His dad and his brother raced. Tony raced. His dad Tom raced. His brother-in-law Brett and his wife Deanna's here. Now they have a daughter Shelby. By the way, is going to the finals next week at Indy in high school. So Steve, would you come on up?
All right, I don't know how well I'm going to be a follow-up to this thing. A lot of people I got to thank. Got a wife that's provided a lot for me the last 20-some years. Got my #1 fan, my daughter Rachel. She's been here since she was a little girl in the 90s, back when I did a lot more winning than I do nowadays. And like he said, Shelby, she started racing this year in high school. But really, I got my racing started with my brother, Tony. Our oldest brother, Mike, used to bring us out when I was a little kid. But it could be in my blood. My dad raced back when Kil-Kare first started. He just told me a story this past week about how they used to race out here on gravel before Kil-Kare officially opened. So he did it years ago. The ironic thing is, he's never come out here and watched me race. He always thought it was a lot of wasted money. But anyway, proud that my mom and dad took care of me, raised me right, and had a lot to do with where I'm at in life right now. So just want to thank everybody and had fun racing. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Harold's got me wired. Sorry for the little delay, but I think it was well worthwhile because the main man that got into the Hall of Fame the first year, that's #1, is Jerry Hall. And that's true. We have to be honest about the reason it took us a second to get here. And I want to thank you for the patience. This year's Grand Marshal, which Jerry has been also, is John Russell. And anybody that knows John Russell, he's been running since the 70s around here. John, are you in the crowd? He's supposed to be, because he's got to get over the seriously. Okay, well, I know a little bit about John. John, we used to race him back in the 70s, like I say, he had the Mad Maverick, which was an age-modified production Maverick that flew. He was always about 2/10 under the record, and we called him Honest John Russell, so we know he wasn't. However, John, back in the day, was the #2 money winner back here in Kil-Kare in the old days, only led in that feat by one guy, Jerry Hall. So we raced him many, many times, and we had an awful good time. John is 88 years old now, and he is still racing at MTRA. He's running 150 in the quarter at 88. So we were awful proud to have John as our Grand Marshal. I'd like to say he's supposed to be here, but when he comes up, we'll get him to say a few words, even if it's a few minutes from now. But we are so proud to welcome John Russell as the Grand Marshal of the Gathering of the Geezers in 2023. Let's give him a big hand. After that, the Geezer of the Year, which is quite an honor. That's somebody that does a lot for hot rodding, does a lot for Kil-Kare, does a lot for the sport. And Bill has been around for probably 50 years. Bill has written national publications, local publications. He's written a book about Camaros. What's the name of that magazine he does here? The Dayton Area Racing Book. He wrote that.
Nice ride.
Nice Ride, he does that too in like the weekly newspapers. Bill is an awesome guy. He's dedicated to the sport. He has race cars himself. Matter of fact, I think that doesn't he own one of Jeff Gordon's sprint cars, which he's got on display over his house. But Bill is just one heck of a guy, and we want to welcome Bill Holder as our Geezer of the Year. There he is. Say a few words, Bill.
A lot of you probably don't know me, but I'm from Dayton, and I've always been interested in racing, and never been a racer, but I sure learned a lot about it. And I'd like to meet people that are involved. And one person that I was really surprised was Jeff Gordon. I just walked up one day and he talked, and then you might not know that Jeff had a team here in Dayton back in the late 60s. And the other people that have been very, very helpful to me are the people at the tracks. And I learned a lot from Ed, and I was doing a lot at Eldora and Winchester, and a lot of things here. And so I just got involved with out here, and I write for a magazine, one of the few racing magazines that's left. It's I gotta read it on my shirt here. Chrysler Classics.
There you go.
And it's going down too. We've lost everything. And the ones that are left are $8.50 a copy, as you all know. And so a lot of people ask me this, who is the most famous person that you've ever met? Easy. Roger Penske. In fact, Roger is saving big time racing. He's got the Indy cars over there, and running oriented. And so one time I had a meeting with him, and he had a car over at Mid-Ohio, and so I went up and talked with him, and he said, well, I'll go with you. And when you start walking with him, you better watch, because he is gone. And his day starts at 5:30 in the morning. And that's also the same time that the desk meeting with all the Mondays going there. And James, while he's doing this, the man doesn't miss a jet. And so that's a lot of the things that I enjoy. And I also have done a lot for Stock Car Racing Magazine, another one going. And they've had some pretty high class rally around here, you know, ASA, and some of those, a lot of ARCA people come out of there. And so it's been a lot of fun, and I just thought maybe it might be a Can you see that? Now these are some of the people I've interviewed, and Shirley Muldowney, great lady, And anybody know who that is? Evil Knievel. Evil Knievel. Evil came into town just before his death, and he was a freshly starred some of the ones he did. Anybody know that? That's the hottest thing in racing right now. Karl, I'm sorry, I did Marshal. And also, this is Mark at Winchester. Nothing happened. I also was fortunate to go to the cast of Kenny Rogers in the Six-Pack movie, and we got one of the cars, and we had to put it back together. And, you would be amazed how much fighting there is between all the guys. And then this is Jeff. This is Jeff when they the normal cup cars, and they converted them. They converted them to dirt, and they stunk. They couldn't ride as fast as the street stocks.
Bill, we may need to move along. Why don't you leave the pictures here, and everybody can look at them after the program. But okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Bill Holder.
This guy's quite a story. And it didn't last. I don't think we have the hall rented long enough, but he needed to be here to tell them good stories. Thank you, Bill, and congratulations. All right, let's do John. Next on the list is Don Osborne. I tell you what, Don is one of the pioneers of drag racing here in Kil-Kare. He's been the road guy since '59. He drag raced here in '59. He's 87 years old, Korea War vet, spent 4 years aboard the USS Hancock. But he had dragsters back in the day. He was one of the original flagmen here when they had flagmen. He ran a B dragster, an A dragster, an A fuel dragster, a AA gas dragster, and went on with Purple Gates to run C-Gas and C-Ultra. He also powered up with a couple guys on a couple of AA gas dragsters and bought dig vests. Oh, sorry about that, AA. He set the national record at 8:16 at 187 mile an hour, which was the track record at that time. Don has been around for a long time. He's still into hot rod. He's got a 62 vet and a 32 Ford. He comes to all the Friday night cruises we have over to Vintage Church and be with me. So I'd like to thank Don for being who he is and what he is, and I'd like to welcome him to the Kil-Kare Hall of Fame in 2023. Thank you. Rex Turner. Rex Turner is a Corvette guy, he's a restoration guy, he's a racer, and he has become a family member to us. He bought the Alton James Corvette 4 years ago and has turned it back into a piece of jewelry. It is now exactly like it was when we raced the car in 1976, to the point where he's got a Jerry Alt built small block engine that Jerry built that we sold to a guy named Dan Vanderpool. Dan had another thing. We found this motor. Rex has got that in the car. He's got a Dugnash 5-speed in it now. He's got everything in the car that's exactly like it was when we raced it. He hired Short Round to paint it, daubered a letter, and it's done exactly. You've seen the car was here last year. Well, Rex was bringing it this year, and Rex is going to the Hall of Fame. But Rex had knee surgery on Wednesday where he had meniscus fixed. And he was planning on coming, but for the last 2 days his knee has swelled up to where he can't even walk right now. And he has written me a letter, text message that I'm not going to read to you because it's too heartbreaking, that he wanted to be here more than anything. just to see Jerry Alt and some other people that we become family with. So he asked me if I would dedicate the Hall of Fame not only to Rex, but to the car and to Jerry Alt. So, Rex, I want to welcome you to the Hall of Fame 2023 report. And we've got Jerry Alt here to accept it. Thanks, buddy. That's my old brother. Okay, I'll do, oh, okay, sure.
Okay, our next Hall of Fame inductee is Tony Dipello. He's here today with his honkin' Hemi 68 Barracuda, Superstock AH, one of the finest specimens of 68 Hemi Cudas ever, and he's well known all over the country. And before the honkin' Hemi Cuda, he had the 68 Plymouth Belvedere, Superstock B honkin' Hemi. He had the record in Superstock B for 6 straight years. He started racing in 1972. He's won multiple wins in NHRA, Mopar Nationals, and he has a successful business in West Carroll. One of the best, Tony Dipello.
Tony also ran last week at the Nationals in the Hemi Challenge, and he qualified, did very well. And the car right now is down in the race car display if you want to see it. It's race car history. And Tony is race car history. Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you. It's an honor to be recognized with everyone else that's gone today and gone before me. It's much appreciated. I wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of my family, my wife Sharon, my daughters Liz and Jennifer, and my son Joe, who now is more of a main crew guy than he ever was. He's taking the reins, and I'm sure he'll be driving the car. Also like to thank two of my crew guys, Colin Hot Rod Myers and George Shiflett. Without their expertise, we would not have been able to accomplish what we have. And I would probably be remiss if I didn't mention a good friend and neighbor of mine who we lost just a few weeks ago, George Montgomery. George put Dayton, Ohio drag racing on the map for the United States. He brought a lot of attention to this area, well deserved, but we owe a lot to George. I'd like to keep it in your memory. So thanks everybody.
Next on the Hall of Fame list, and thank you so much, Tony. This is a great story. Everybody here that's an old racer started about the same way Harold and I did, and I bet you half of you guys. This guy's name's Gary Smith. Gary's a family man, a wonderful guy, a father, a grandfather. He was also a racer and a car guy at heart. In 1964, who else did this? Gary took his mom's 64 Plymouth, popped the hubcaps off of it, took the air cleaner off, and came to Kil-Kare and raced. And I bet you there's a lot of those that did that. I know I did. After that, Gary built a Moss 302 Mustang. He built a 69 396 Camaro. He built a 65 Comet Caliente with a 427 in it. And that's the car I raced at Kil-Kare mostly. Got the car running in the 10s. It was a show car plus a really, really fast race car. Gary also built a 56 Ford that he's got the car show right now that his granddaughter has. And that's just a wonderful little story. But we like to, not everybody that's in this thing is a professional drag racer and it's one Indy and all the other stuff. The backbone of drag racing is guys like Gary. So we'd like to welcome him to the 2023 Gathering of the Geezers Hall of Fame. And his wife, Cindy, is here to get you.
Cindy's not gonna, she's not gonna
Gary's my brother. I was with Gary most of 80% of this time. We built everything together. It wasn't Caliente, it was 65 sites on it, which would be harder to find. Stroke 427, 455, basically. Runs the 10s, runs a good car. You know, back in the 60s, he ran a 69 Cobra Jet Mustang in our standard store. Right now, I own a 69 Super Cobra Jet, same color. We found this car, it was an old bright car. We found it, and I took it back to the original conditions. When we found the car, he got shit. Found out it was a black J car, just like his old car. And we took that car back, and he restored that car for me. And with a lot of pride, he took a lot of pride in doing the car for me, because it reminded him of his old car. So we want to thank you guys for putting him in the Hall of Fame, because he's right. He took that car away from me at 64. It was my high school car, but my mom didn't drive it. I was a taxi. You know? So if he broke the car out, so I was walking. So we do accept it. And thank you. Thank you, Kil-Kare. Thank you, Hall of Fame. He's, you know, thanks, real nice.
We lost Gary a few years ago, and this is his brother Charlie, and I think his brother John's here too. Okay, thank you, off the Smith family. And Cindy, thank you. Jerry is still going strong after about 35 years, I think. He started racing in 1990. His first win was in 1991, and he was top 5 in the points every year until his first championship, 2002 in Super Pro. He also won Super Pro Championship in 2011. The guy has won some big time races, several $5,000 wins. He won the Turkey Classic here at Kil-Kare. And his dad, Denny, is with him all the time, his crew chief, and his life partner, Tanya. So I'd like to welcome Jerry Dumple to the Hall of Fame.
Okay, this is going to be tough for me because I usually don't talk in front of a bunch of crowds. I just want to thank definitely my family, my dad, my life partner, I'll just say 3 sons, Chase, Gary, Nick, everybody that's helped me along the way. When I thought I was down and out, there was people here at Kil-Kare that would come through, make things right for me, just to always make sure I was here at the track. And I'd like to thank Carson Myers, definitely Leon Bryant, because he was one of the mentors that I always looked. Where's he at? Leon was one of the guys that I always looked up to, talked to. I parked right beside him. Robbie Jones. Just everybody. Antrobius, Kloppensteins, everybody here that's been to Kil-Kare all these years. I just like to thank everybody. I love all you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
I see somebody lurking over in the corner. I see John Russell. Come here, John. We've already,
You're in for a treat, brother.
well, this is John. I spoke about him earlier and told you what a deep guy is, huh? No, you're the Grand Marshal.
Oh, I know
It's a
that.
big difference.
Whatever.
Yeah, see, I told you, 88 years old, still a smart ass. But still got 150 in the corner. But we want to welcome you to this, and we're so proud to have you as our Grand Marshal. And I'd like to hand you your plaque personally, and to say, is there anything you want to say? Now, you only have 3 minutes.
Okay. I've been coming here since 1960. Met a lot of great people throughout the years. Jerry Old, Ed Crowder, George Montgomery, which I've helped him a lot. Transmission work. Treated me right if I needed something. They'd hand it to me a couple things. They've been great here, and I really appreciate being the one to come
We're honored to have
These guys are like my right hand, so I'm grateful that they need something.
you. Now, if you're down in the Lebanon area and you need a guitar worked out, Russell Automotive, that's who you go see.
Still got a minute.
All right, next
Next
year,
year, keep winning money. Keep winning one on
what was fair, it was only fair. We have another award. It's actually going to go to Bill Holder. He had a 40-year associate with Bill Holder, and we'll let Bill tell us more about Phil. But Phil was kind of Bill's right-hand man, and he was there for Bill. Was he a picture taker? There you go. He's a picture taker.
Photographer for all the years. And it really was responsible for, I couldn't have done it. This guy was in helicopters, ground vehicles, and just everything to get the picture. And I brought on a few of the pictures he took. He was basically a race boat guy. And I mean, many of you have, how many can remember that when we raced the Unlimiteds at the lake? And then they took it away from us. And here is here is some of the activity, if you can believe, at Eastwood Lake. And Miss Budweiser and all of them were there. And here you can see drag boats coming out. And it was just wonderful. The money they put into it, you know, Budweiser especially. And I just, another thing that he took was that pictures down there when the planes came over from right pat. And I just want to remember him. He's in very bad shape. And what do you think about you, Bill?
It's all welcome, Phil, to the 2023 class of the Hall of Fame.
Okay, I'd like to bring up Brett Randall. Brett has got the same 69 Camaro he's had for about 60 years, I think. He's been racing since the early 90s. He's still racing today. He bought the Camaro in 1983, and he founded Zombie Racing with his buddy Steve Harold. Worked at Kil-Kare for 5 years as a starting line worker. Brett's got multiple wins in Pro, Super Pro. Car has been in the 8s. He's good with big blocks. His wife Janie is always with him, helping him with his daughters, Lindsay and Leslie. So Brett, where you at? Brett Randall.
I just want to say thanks to my wife and my daughters and the help of everybody that gave me over the years of doing this. If it wasn't for them, I couldn't do it. This is an expensive hobby. But anyways, thank all. Thank you.
The next recipient is John Mitchell. John has been racing. Let me read him out. Come on up. John's been racing since '69. Back in the day, he had a 71. In '71, he bought a '66 Bell, racing through the stock like all of them did. In '74, he started stock eliminator. '79, he started practice racing. '76 and '77, ran U.S. National. '78, Spring National. The Sports National. 2004, last year, now he races the 92 Camaro and Super Pro. And you don't want to pull up next to it because you're going to probably get put on the trailer. I'd like to welcome John to the 2023 Kil-Kare Hall of Fame.
I'd like to thank my family. At the beginning, there's my girlfriend, now my wife, Susan. We have 4 children, Dennis, Michael, Brian, and Sandra. And I took time off a little bit for racing, but when we came back to racing, my kids were all with me racing. In those days, their job was to get the wagon with the water to keep the car cooled down. And I have 3 generations out here racing today. Myself, my son Dennis, 2 grandsons, Jaden and Cody.
And Toby done really well in the juniors, and Jay done well in the juniors. Both, all of his son and grandson all went to Indy in the high school class, done very well. And Toby's going this year in high school. And I want to give a thank out to one of my mentors that took me under his wing, taught me a lot, David. What drag racing is about. It's a family sport that goes from generation to generation. It's just guys like John that make you proud that you're part of it. All right.
Thank you, John.
Okay, next up I want to bring up Steve Harold. He's got that beautiful black 67 Camaro sitting in our vintage race car display. Steve started racing in 1977 and he's still racing today. He's owned the same car since 1979. He started racing full time in off and on in 1977. In '88 he started racing full time. And he founded Zombie Racing with his best buddy, Brett Randall. He's at the strip every week, multiple wins at Kil-Kare and other local tracks. We'd like to welcome Steve Harold to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Dumple.
Well, the only thing I got to say is, well, thank you, Mom, for raising me right, and I'm honored. I'm speechless. I'm very humbled. Drag races are the best people in the world. You can go anywhere and find anybody any better. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Next on the list is a racer that's been doing this again for a long time. It's Jack Adamson Sr. Anthony Adamson Sr. Jack has been racing since '69. Some of Jack's cars have been a '65 Corvette, '67 Camaro, '78 Malibu, a '68 Chevelle wagon, a 3-car family racing team. White Fox is a 4-length dragster that appeared in Superstock magazine in 1991. Multiple wins at Kil-Kare and at the Disney tracks. Jack is one of the backbones of drag racing around here in Nathan, Ohio, and we're so proud to have him in the Kil-Kare Hall of Fame for the class of 2023.
I'm not a good speaker, but like Steve, I'm very humbled and honored to accept this. And when I've met some really good people racing, I've got some dynamite memories. Live on Kil-Kare.
You'll never be forgotten. Dragway is what we call a long distance award. And we'd like to award this to Steve Collier, who drove up a '56 Chevy wagon, was parked over at the car show all the way to West Virginia. Now I did see a few planes fly by because I think that this was the World War II. But those people didn't register today. So we'd like to give Steve Collier an award for the long distance award. Is Steve here? Or did he already start back to West Virginia?
Well, we'll see if Steve gets this. We got a couple of families.
Ed Crowder.
This is Ed Crowder's nephew, by the way, from West Virginia. We got a couple of families that are long-time racers here at Kil-Kare and all over, and one is the Chatterton family, and one is the Ewing family. So I'm going to bring up Randy Chatterton, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his family. And we're welcomed him to the Hall of Fame.
I'm getting over a bug, so I don't want everybody to get my bug. Can you guys come on up? While they're coming up, I'll just do Jim Ewing's family. Jim is one of the original road knights, and he was here earlier with his wife Maxie and their son Angus, who is in the club that my dad was one of the founding members of back in 1956, the Road Knights team. It actually ran Kil-Kare, but built in 59.
I'll get you your handbill. Handbill? I'll get you a handbill. Ed will make sure you get that. So I wanted to thank you and Maxine and Jim, you especially for all your work you're doing with the club. We've been trying to help the club stay alive, and we do a lot of charity work and still want to be involved out here at the track, so we work hard at that. Back to business at hand, my family. Oh, you've got glasses. See, I wrote their names down so I can remember my brother's names. Everybody's got something to hold good. I got this to hold. So I'm going to start off with, of course, my dad, George Chatterton, was also an original inductee into the Hall of Fame in 2009, which was the 50th anniversary of the track, if I'm not mistaken. So Chris is holding a picture of one of our cars we had back in the day. While Dad was on the track, we were probably watching on the track, but then we were over in the creek most of the time after that, catching crawdads and what have you. Dad said that's how he became so well known, was all the other drag registrations were wondering who those brats were that were running all over the pits. And here it's myself and my brother. Chris, yes, that was our supper. Peanut butter and crawdad sandwich. Chris, the oldest son, he will be turning 69 at the end of this month. I'm just doing this so I can tell my mom's age again. Rusty, second oldest, he'll turn 68 in December. He's holding a picture of the middle son he lost in 2000. Wes would have turned 66 last May. I was always called number 4 son, so I'll be 65 next month.
Hey, he was a good-looking kid, too.
Yeah, the looks finally showed up after the third one. My mom is holding a picture of George Harold Chatterton III, which is always a big question of why the youngest boy got named after our dad. Mom had always asked my dad, "I'm gonna have a baby, what do you want to name him?" And he said, "I don't care as long as you don't name him after me." He said that 4 times in a row, and the 5th time Mom asked him, "What do you want to name him?" And he said, "I don't care." So there you go. It's George Harold III, who is still actually, he'll be turning 60, or no, he just turned 63 in August, and is still drag racing in Southern California. And my mom, Dodie, who just turned 90 last month, lives in her own apartment, not a padded cell like you might think after dealing with us like boys. So that was, Ed asked me if I wanted to be inducted into the Kil-Kare Hall of Fame. I said it'd be a great honor, but it just didn't feel right because all the rest of the family needed to go in. Ed understood that, so we're ironing out all that issue. But Ed's been a wonderful friend to the family. He helped us put on a memorial picnic for my dad when he passed away out at the shelter house out here at the track, which was just a wonderful time and helped ease a lot of pain and congestion and everything at the funeral when we had the service. Ed, thank you so much for everything you've done for our family. You'll always be a dear friend and our family. So thank you so much. Okay, we're going to need to get everybody that's inducted into the Hall of Fame up here for a group picture.
Okay, we got.
Hold it a little bit longer. Everybody needs to get some. And I'm proud of you. You got it all right side up. That's good. You had a little trouble, but you figured it out. Come on, Bill. Smile. Everybody good? Thank you, guys.
I look at all these old pictures, and I don't know if it's the first story you all had. I don't know what.
Hey, little buddy. What's up now?
Yes, that's an awesome idea.
Thank you, brother.
Good to see you.
Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
There she is. I wanted to get used to standing together. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you so much. Good day. We had a good day. Oh, excellent. Beautiful. Did you get any shots? Did you get the?
Yeah.
Okay, so the group. Did you get? All right, guys. Got the presentation done. Got all of that done. This, I know, has been a mega episode, multiple parts to it and everything, but good times, excellent folks, heartfelt dedications and stuff, and all the effort and lifetime spent to enjoy this, keep this going, keep it running, and we appreciate it all. I've got to get back to Mom and Dad. I am not going to be able to do to get out to the Irish Club like I wanted. I've got to get back to Mom and Dad. This has run really long, but so enjoyable. All right, guys, you know the deal. I'm on the road. See ya!